Welcome back, and it's now time to go into two very interesting topics: international wrestling and the NWA. I'm going to start with the NWA first, just to get it out of the way. Now, the NWA, in the last year, has improved significantly. I think of everything that has improved in the last year, the NWA has improved the most. They have their own show on Colors TV, on the Dish Network, and I think the titles in the NWA are starting to mean more, and you can see that especially with the NWA heavyweight title held by Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and how he just goes out there night after night, defending the title wherever it be, in Oklahoma or California or Virginia, Mexico, Canada. Adam Pearce has just been a fantastic NWA heavyweight champion. And to me, Adam Pearce, when the title tournament happened last year, Adam Pearce, I don't think, was on the radar of being, that's the guy that's going to represent the NWA. And how good is he going to be? He's got the title. He's done a hell of a job as the champ. And hopefully he'll be there for a long time as NWA World Champion. Another thing that the NWA has improved on is how important their territories are. Especially with, I'll give you a couple of territories that are important to the NWA. Virginia is a very important territory to the NWA. That's been the site of 2 title matches that Adam Pearce has had with Damian Wayne, especially their last one that went an hour long. Virginia, this is my opinion. Virginia, the Midwest, Oklahoma, and NWA Pro, which is out in California. Those 4 are the 4 most important promotions for the NWA right now. If I had to put one more in, I probably would have to say NWA Southwest, because that's starting to improve. I think that's starting to come back. And NWA, this NWA with David Marquez and Bob Trowbridge leading the way, they're putting the emphasis on the territories and the titles. That's something that's missing, I think, in wrestling, is you put the titles first and the territories. And the NWA, they just celebrated their 60th birthday. They're starting to make a comeback. How big? Well, we'll find out in a year. Now, the international wrestling. I'm not going to say that international wrestling is at an all-time high. I'm not going to say that. However, Japan is starting, in its own way, starting to make a comeback. Pro Wrestling Noah and Dragon Gate are leading the way, obviously. But New Japan is right there in the mix, and with their supporters behind them, I think New Japan's going to be in business for a little while. And with All Japan, 10 years has changed significantly. They were at one time one of the 5 best promotions in the world. Now it's like they're an endangered species, and it's really sad for a promotion that's had such a legacy, such a history, with almost every big name wrestler that has ever been in wrestling, from 1970 to today, has gone through All Japan Pro Wrestling. And it's like, it's almost like an extinct animal. It's really sad, and it hurt. I'm not going to say it hurts me, but it's just sad to see such a great promotion going as All Japan almost on its deathbed. Now, Mexico, excuse me, my nose is itching. Mexico has made a return, I think, as a location for wrestling, with CMLL and AAA Wrestling leading the way. Mystico's a big thing. Cibernetico's a big thing. Those two, I think, have to be the 2 that make Mexican wrestling such a success. For really either promotion to stay up for a long time. And Mystico is so big. He's like, to Mexico today, as far as popularity goes, what Stone Cold Steve Austin was 10 years ago. That's how popular Mystico is today. And really, I just hope that CMLL and AAA Wrestling, they keep this going for a long time. I want to see Mexican wrestling. I want to see Lucha Libre come back. I want to see Lucha Libre maybe in the forefront of professional wrestling. And Europe's been such a big help, especially with New Wrestling Evolution over there in Spain, with everything going on with the Ultimate Warrior lately. And then with Canada's always a big thing home for wrestling. Unfortunately, UWA is going out of business, which I think is sad, because it only really leaves IWS over in Montreal as the only wrestling promotion that's left. But Canada, I think, is going to survive, especially with the roster that they got and the wrestlers that they do have. I think the international scene is going to be just fine for a while. That's going to be it for this year's State of the Business. If you have any comments, any comments, questions, you want to disagree with me, go right ahead. I've got no problem. Send me a message. I'll probably read them tomorrow on the show. And tomorrow, I'm going to make a big announcement, so you might want to stay tuned to tomorrow for my big announcement. So, until then, this is Billy Ann Covey saying so long from the old lines.